Welcome to this Jing. In this presentation we'll be looking at the use of APA style inside the paper that you're writing. Notice first of all that we use page numbers. Those go in the top right hand corner. And then in this Jing I'll be talking about 15 different items that I think will be helpful for you to understand. First of all, the title of your paper is going to go at the top. It's going to be bolded. It's going to be centered. And this particular paper was written for a different class I teach, but I think the example still will be helpful. You'll have different headings on your paper, and for example, you'll have headings such as the purpose, then you'll be talking about the body of your paper, and then you'll have a conclusion, you'll have an application. Those headings go on the left-hand side, left margin, and those are bolded. With APA style, we don't use contractions. So words like have not, did not, cannot, etc., those words are all spelled out versus using a contraction. At times you'll have a source that's been paraphrased, and then at the end of that you can identify it by putting parentheses around it. Let's scroll down just a little bit here. Some of your sources may come near the end of what's been paraphrased, like our last one. And again, parentheses go around that. But the point I want to make here is that you use an ampersand sign anytime you have a source that's inside parentheses. If you have a source that comes near the start of what you're paraphrasing, this is what it looks like. Our author in this case is Lion, and then the parentheses goes around the publication date. In this case, it's 1995. Let's take a look at number 6 now. Number 6, the first time that a source is used with 3 to 5 authors, you're going to cite all the authors the first time. If there are 6 or more names, cite only the first name followed by et al. Let's look at number 7. Number 7, you use an et al. Also if the source was cited before in the paper and 3 or more names are used. This is what it looks like. Notice there's not a period after the et, there is a period after the al, and then we have a comma, before the actual date comes. For number 8, we actually use numerals on any numbers that are 10 or greater. And number 9, we use words any time that we've got numbers that are going to be less than 10. We spell it out, in this case 5, so we write it out. Number 10, the point I'd like to make here is that we use an and between authors' names when the parentheses is not around it. Scroll down a little more. Number 11, this is an example of how we use an et al. When it's not inside the parentheses. Again, notice there's not a period after et, there is a period after the al. And just a few more examples. Number 12, this is what it looks like when we have multiple authors and we're citing them at the end of something that's been paraphrased. And notice again that we use a semicolon between the author's name, and again we're using an ampersand because it comes within the parentheses. Number 13, this is a good example of how we show grade levels. In this case it's 4th grade. We're using the numerals 34 because we're more than 10. And just a couple other examples. Number 14, this is an example of how we can use just the author's name without the date if a particular author had been cited earlier in this paragraph, which in this case was true. And then our final example, number 15, this is how you use quotations. Quotation marks go around it, and then outside the quotation marks, inside parentheses, we're listing P for the page, and then the actual page number that we had the citation from, and then a period follows it. So hopefully this is helpful. You may want to review it several times. APA style is pretty particular, as you can see.